Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. I think most of you already know what this is, and today we're finally going to talk about the Anta KAI 1. So I said finally because these have a retail price of 125 US dollars. I was applauding Kyrie for insisting to not make his shoes expensive, but I didn't think Anta would pull the limited stock trick. That's a pretty nasty move. Like the first colorway and the second one were both super limited apparently. And as a result, this shoe has been reselling. With this playoff pack release, there was this home colorway and another Mavs navy or blue or away colorway. They were finally a little bit easier to get. I guess these should be floating at right around retail as we speak. Anyways, that was kind of meaningless talk. All you need to know is these go for 125. There should be plenty of colorways to come, most likely a budget version too. So if you were to ask me, I say just take your time. Find a pair that you really like and make sure you don't give resellers too much money for a pair of Antas. Why do I say that? I had a fun time playing with these, but does it really have top tier performance? Let's get right into it. We'll start with the cushioning as usual. So here, this shoe feels not much like a typical Kyrie that we know of. When I think of the Nike Kyries, I think of a simple but effective setup, low to the ground core feel. However, this is pretty stacked up underneath your feet with their nitrogen foam. When I pressed down on the heel, that felt much softer than I anticipated. But obviously this is Anta now, not Nike anymore. You gotta make changes, gotta put on their premium tag and differentiate from the previous partnership. So cushion, I say it feels great on feet. The foam is nice and delicious. You get a little bit of bounce, just a little bit. Impact protection is about average, but compared to a lot of his older signature shoes, this cushion is way better. Again, not necessarily a good thing depending on your preference and expectation. For US size 10.5, they come to 450 grams. Not a lightweight shoe, more like average or even slightly heavier than average weight. Traction on this colorway that I have, it's also slightly above average. Yeah, that's it, not much squeak, even on a clean court. It grips pretty well, but there were some instances where my feet would slide out a little bit on a pivot or something like that. So if I was to plant my feet really hard for a step through or pump fake, let's say, this is not necessarily the type of traction that gives me full confidence. And I'm not even close to being fast or shifty, anything like that. Dust pickup is manageable, but it can get trapped in between the grooves easily. So you're probably gonna have to wipe frequently. In general, I give the traction a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Like from the sounds of it, it really feels like a piece of foam squeaking and rubbing against the floor versus some of those rubber compounds from other Chinese brand hoop shoes that stop you like crazy hard, if that makes sense. With the fit, here it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. For most people, true to size should be the ideal fit. If you have very wide feet, half size up is needed. For me, as someone with slightly wider feet, true to size in US size, it works just fine. Toe box is pretty snug. Like a lot of the Nike Kyries in the past, I had to size up. These I could do true to size just fine. If you prefer to have a more spacious fit inside, then half size up is probably the best. Yeah, it can be deceiving because if you look at the shape of the base, for example, it looks pretty wide, but in reality it's all right. Not so wide foot friendly to be honest, so just keep that in mind. Stability is decent. I didn't find this to have a very secure lockdown, especially surrounding the heel. That's also a problem on the Shockwave 5 Pro for me, heel slippage. Like that one, I had to buy a heel cushion pad to stuff some room at the back. These, just letting you know that it isn't the most secure type of fit around the ankle. Materials, I'll put it this way, the attention to details is unbelievable. But as it turns out in hand, it feels a little bit cheaper than what I expected from the online images. No premium touch, just this textile covering the toe box. It's not very soft or conforming. Breathability is okay. On top of your foot and on the side panels, there are some ventilation holes covered by some thin netting. But I mean, this is just a beautiful upper design. Strap doesn't serve any functionality. Doesn't hurt to have it either. Like once I stepped my foot inside, I didn't have any pinching caused by the material. Over time, not too much soreness for my flat feet either. So it's an upper construction that gets the job done. Just don't expect anything premium or plush. Actually, the tongue feels nice, and thank goodness it's a short tongue. Overall, to be absolutely honest, the Kai 1 is a solid performer, but not on an elite level. What I really liked about the shoe is that this truly feels like something that Kyrie wanted to do in terms of the design language, details, and technically price point. Because some of these Chinese brands have been tripping with their prices recently, but it's kind of in an awkward position. Is it a guard shoe? Yeah, from the looks of it, sure. But weight isn't really that light. Core feel isn't nearly as good as some of his Nike signature shoes. Is it a shoe made for forwards and bigs? Also not really. It doesn't give you that bounciness and support to hold up well for heavier players. In comparison, the shoe that he was first wearing for a few months after signing with Anta, the Shockwave 5 Pro, I think beats the Kai 1 easily. Like, I take this over this any day of the week. And this is given that this had a heel slippage issue. But again, there's nothing wrong with the Kai 1. One line to summarize it from my experience: jack of all trades, expert of none. Let me know your thoughts on Kyrie's first signature shoe with Anta down in the comments. I think you can be patient at least. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.